one of the actresses plays Diana Ross, and we have her right here. This is Allison Semmes. Welcome
Hello.
to Sidewalks. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you too.
Lovely dress, by the way.
Thank you.
You look really lovely.
Thank you
for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we'll talk about Motown in just a second. Let's find out a little bit about you.
Okay.
You're from Chicago.
Yes, born and raised Chicago, South Side, Hyde Park. And, I started singing at a very young age, like around 6 years old.
Wow.
Went through like the whole Chicago Children's Choir, sang in the church, and then studied opera, actually.
Wow.
Because I had plans of being an opera singer. And after graduation, I said, no, I want to be on Broadway. That's the dream.
Really? At that age, you wanted to be on Broadway?
Mm-hmm. I think it was actually 6th grade.
Wow.
I don't know. Somehow I just made my mind up. Broadway is the way.
So there's people out there watching right now go, I want to do what you're doing. So you started off in local theater, most likely? Or
Actually,
school?
I was all singing, so all
Oh.
choirs, everything that was choir related or music related, with working with different composers and different types of musics, and Broadway called, so I went with the call.
So you went, how old were you when you got the Broadway call?
I was, when was that? I was out of school for about maybe 2 years, and then I got the call.
So after school for 2 years,
Yeah.
but you did do some other roles?
Yeah, before that I did like a lot of regional theater, and
Okay.
I did Color Purple National Tour, was non-equity, so that was my first national tour. I was playing Squeak.
Okay.
And so that kind of gave me a glimpse of like just the schedule of 8 shows a week on the road. And then my first Broadway show was The Book of Mormon, and then I went over to Motown on Broadway for 3 months, and then got scooped up from the
That
tour.
was the Motown, the Broadway version.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I wasn't playing Diana Ross at the time.
Who were you playing?
I was playing Florence Ballard.
Okay.
She's one of the Supremes. And then I was also understudying Diana, so I was still familiar, but I wasn't on for her on stage all the time.
We're here today, of course, to talk about Motown the Musical.
Yes.
I got a chance to see the show with some of the Sidewalks
Oh,
crew,
yes.
and wow, it was very fascinating and fun, and we were all moving around. I actually was singing
Oh,
from
you were
my
singing?
seat.
Did you sing?
I know, yeah,
Oh
I
my
was
God,
singing,
yes,
and that's not a
okay.
pretty sight.
Ooh,
And
oh no.
I'm sorry for the people next to me who were going, please stop.
Oh no, but I'm sure it was. Can I hear you sing?
Oh,
something?
no. Only if you sing. No.
Oh, we can sing together.
We'll sing it. But we'll do that afterwards.
Okay.
If we have time. So let's talk about how did you you did the Broadway version, but
Yes.
how did you audition for the role to be for the touring? Because you're part of the touring group. We should make it clear. There's a Broadway,
Yes.
and there's also a tour group.
Yeah, the first national tour.
So how did you get from that to the tour group?
Well, I was familiar, like I said, I was familiar with a lot of with the Diana Ross role because
Yeah.
I was understudying her. So I was familiar with the lines and everything. I went on for the role a couple of times on Broadway. But then when I heard about the audition, I like jumped on it because who wouldn't want to, one, play that role, and two, travel with such an amazing show, like across the country,
Yeah.
like Motown did, like the Motortown Review. So actually my agent called me and she told me, they're looking for, the Diana Ross for the tour, and I was familiar with the role and the
Yeah.
creative team and went in.
Is it pretty much similar to Broadway and the touring?
Yeah, just
style?
about. We cut a couple of people just for the role, just to downsize just a little bit. The set is maybe a little different, but for the most part, it's the same story. It's the same, characters, same music.
So, what's your favorite Diana Ross song? Songs.
Ooh, songs, yes.
Songs. Nothing songs, not song.
I would have to say Reach Out and Touch, because I love breaking that fourth wall and like meeting the audience and meeting whoever.
We should explain that, yeah, because on the show, I mean, most of it's on stage and you're acting with each other, but there's one part in this, I guess you call it the second act, the second half of the show, where you actually have an audience participation, and that was great.
Yes, I love it, and it's like each night is something different. You never know who's going to come up, you never know what the energy is going to be, but it's exciting. It keeps it fresh. So
It's
I
great
love
because
that.
you also stayed in character. I mean,
Yeah.
when you watch you, it's like, oh my God, it is Diana Ross right there.
Sometimes people forget, like, no, I'm just playing her. I'm not really her.
Did anybody ever
But-
get nervous when they're up there with you?
Oh yeah, but I try and make them feel as comfortable as possible because we're just having fun at the end of the day, and the song is so simple, but it's.
So when you got the role,
Mhm.
how long before you actually go on, let's say, go on stage with the first opening night? I mean, how long does it take? How many is it months?
Oh, well, we did have a month of rehearsal. So, yeah, and then actually going on the stage with all the costumes at the tech, we call it the tech, where we have all the lights and the sound and the costume changes, all of that. Honestly, once you get into the costumes, it kind of like, you just kind of fall into it, It really helps, like when you're wearing these gowns or when you're wearing these, these bubble wigs and like beehive wigs. Like it really puts you in the moment, in the character, so it helps a lot.
You're on stage a lot, and you have to go back and forth and change wigs or change dress.
Quick changes.
How do you guys do
ever.
that?
I don't know. We just do it. It's just like we got to keep it going.
Is there any time where like I'm not ready yet?
Yes, I've been. Oh my gosh, there's this one time where I have to change wig, dress, shoes, put on another wig, put on 2 dresses and different pair of shoes in like under a minute. So, but I call it. We have multiple people that are helping us, so we call it the dream. What is it? The Team Supreme. Team Supreme. So it's like, all right, Team Supreme, let's do this. 2 people on wigs, 2 people on shoes. So it really is a team effort.
Future-wise, I mean, you've done a lot of theater. Any opportunity to dabble in television and film?
Oh my God, yes. If anywhere there's a stage, I want to be there. Anywhere there's a story to tell, I want to tell it. Especially if it's, even if it's through music. I love music. I have been thinking about going abroad as well, singing abroad, just sing more of the world.
Do you do anything, any kind of original music? I mean,
I do actually. I've written some music, and I just love like soul and jazz and just kind of fusion music and telling a story. But I also love TV, film too. I want to dabble into that a little. So.
What would be your dream role? Yeah, you're already doing a dream role,
I know,
Diana Ross,
right?
but what would be another dream role?
You know what? It would have to be something original. Because honestly, I'm like living my life. I'm loving this like role to play such an iconic character and a wonderful story, a legacy. So it's like the next thing would have to be something original. Something that's a new story.
This video raises questions, and I need for you to be extremely honest in the comments when answering them. And just so you know, there are 3 questions. Before this video, have you ever heard the name Allison Semmes? Number 2, have you ever been to a Broadway show? And number 3, are you a fan of opera music? Now answer those questions honestly in the comments. Share this video with anyone you deem necessary. And don't forget to like and subscribe.